Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. Today we're looking at a brand new housing item added in patch 6.3. Now recently you might remember they added to Island Sanctuary in 6.2 the Otter fountain for landmarks, which was a fantastic thing that took a lot of work to actually make. It was, you know, like incredibly difficult recipe. This one is slightly less difficult, but still uses some quite difficult things. The actual recipe is on screen here for the smaller water otter fountain. This is a Master Goldsmith 10 recipe, which is obviously level 90 Goldsmith 3-star. And it says, a water otter fountain that is smaller and somehow odder than the water otter fountain found in Island Sanctuaries. A little bit later and it's finally daytime in the game, so we can enjoy the sun's embrace as it comes up. So let's have a look at this item then, the smaller water otter fountain, which is still quite a mouthful, isn't it really? But as you can see, it is not as big as the full-size landmark one, which is the first observation. However, regardless of that fact, I think the main thing that sort of makes it smaller is the fact that it doesn't have the outer sort of like fountain area. But the plus side is that it is big enough that it is, you know, obviously a very nice item. It is well, you know, detailed, but yeah, it could have done with being a little bit bigger, considering the housing limitations. Of course, what you might not be able to hear properly in the background is all of that lovely the sound effects. I believe that is it on the sound effect track or is it ambience? It's on the ambient track. There's all that lovely gushing running water in the background there we go. That's easier to see and hear. But yeah, apart from that, it is basically a one-to-one replica for the most part. I do really like this. You know, don't get it twisted. Just because I'm complaining about the size of it doesn't mean that I don't like it. I think it's fantastic with the little lily pads and obviously the otter. It kind of looks from this angle like he's taking a wee into the fountain. So let's rotate around a bit. But yeah, it's nice, isn't it? This currently is retailing though, with the fact that some of the stuff is slightly harder to obtain for about 3 million gil on my server. It obviously is going to vary depending on what server you are on, but I would definitely recommend this one. There really isn't much else to say. The big question is, does it have dyeability? And that's something I should have looked at before placing it down, but let's have a quick look. It does not appear to have dyeability, unfortunately, which is a big... it's a bit of a big sad, isn't it, really? It would have been nice to change the colour of those tiles, or at least the stonework. But yeah, and it is obviously fully collision detectable, so of course you can jump on top of the otter and take a nice comfortable sit on his head, which apparently makes a metallic noise as you walk on it. But yeah, what do you think about this? I personally think it's fantastic. I think that they should just do this flat out as they go forward with housing items and landmark stuff. It's nice to have you know, that interchangeability. One of the things then, if they're going to do this in the future, that I would like to see is, considering that they've done that big sort of like spa type thing that they've done in the landmarks. I forget which one it is now, like the cabin that you can sit in with the, you know, the spa type thing, the sauna. It'd be nice to get that in its full size for our housing areas in our housing. But there we go. I know for a fact in the future they are talking about, I think it's closer to 6.4. I think Yoshi P said on a live letter that they want there to be the ability to place outdoors housing items, at least in a limited quantity and in limited fashion, in those outdoor spaces on your Island Sanctuary to allow for customization. At that point, basically Island Sanctuary will become sort of like a little bit closer to housing for people who don't have housing. So I'm looking forward to that in the future. It does of course mean then, if they do allow for housing outdoor items to be placed there, that you would technically, in theory, be able to have a double otter if you had the landmark as well. Anyway, very cool stuff to come in the future. I cannot wait to see where this goes. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what you guys think of this one. Do you like this one? Are you already going to get this one when it comes down in price? You might already have this. But yeah, it's fantastic. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. More 6.3 videos on the way this week, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.